Wait until some folks come in. Look, let me cut down my radio for a minute. Look, this is what I'm trying to say, or what I'm trying to help my people, because I understand a lot of people have this old way of thinking and don't realize the world is actually doing a 360-degree turn as we speak. Those old ways, those old laws don't even apply no more, really. And a lot of people don't understand what I mean. They don't apply because a lot of folks have this old way of thinking and don't want to adopt the new way of thinking, because the new way of thinking, I mean, let's get to it. We want to talk about the people, because I'm just looking on Facebook and I always see a lot of things on Facebook, political and all this kind of stuff, which is not my cup of tea. But if you want to talk about political and all that kind of stuff, to me, you got to change your way of thinking, because you don't want to get left behind, because the world have definitely done a 360 degree. And I'm on a rant right now because every time I'm on Facebook, I always see people talk political and all that kind of stuff, but nobody's really thinking that stuff really is going out the window. It's all about you and taking care of you and your family and doing things for your future generation. Now, I'm not saying we didn't have a lot of great things that happened in our history or whatever, but a lot of things that we praise and think that was so great really wasn't all that great. It actually put us more in the hole and behind. Now, what we do today is what's going to push us forward, and not just for us, because you're not going to see the effect right now. Whatever you do today, you're not going to see the effect right now. We're going to see the effect 10, 20 years for and our kids going to see this effect. So when we talk about this oppression and all this injustice and all this, understand this stuff occurred from our ancestors. The people that were before us, they didn't handle their business. And when I get on here and talk my knowledge and my spirituality and my views on things, it's not to debate. It's not to say or down anybody. It's more of to open up and get you to be aware of things, because I'm actually trying to make a change. I mean, I don't like to brag on anything that I do or anything like that. Is each one teach one. If we really live by that rule, each one teach one, then you have to take accountable and take verification to what people are saying. Because when I say build our own, get our own, I mean, I'm really talking the truth, because you got to understand, when I say build our own, I'm meaning economic system. And everybody keep on talking about, you see what happened in Tulsa and all that. They tried, but they didn't have they had the great idea, but they didn't have the security. They didn't have the what am I trying? I don't want to say infrastructure, but they didn't have the security they basically need to protect them. They really didn't have nothing to protect them. They had their economy booming, but they didn't have no protection. Nothing, because they never thought that somebody would come and do anything like that. So when we talk about the Tulsa, we can actually do that now because we got more of this, and we know what's going to happen. In other words, get your land. Get you some land. And when I talk, I posted a couple of posts about how you can take, and you'll be surprised, your money and just go down to Shelby County Land Bank. You want to talk about buying the block back? You want to really talk about buying the block back? I've told many of people to just go to Shelby County Land Bank, and you would see what's going on down there. You will be surprised what the Shelby County Land Bank is getting rid of for a little of nothing. Learn about stocks and bonds. Learn about it. I mean, because like I say, I've learned it. And like it's not going to actually take effect, and it's not for you. See, a lot of people think that I want to get rich now. They get rich now is crazy. We're talking about building wealth. we constantly talk about Tulsa. We constantly talk about all these organizations and all this stuff, but who is really, really doing what they speak? When I give the knowledge, you don't want to listen, or people don't want to listen. I don't want to say you because some people take it personal, like you. But understand, man, the world is turning. It's no more going to college to get rich. Matter of fact, when you go to college, you actually, nowadays, unless you're getting a full ride scholarship, but nowadays, if you don't have a full ride scholarship, when you go to college, you're actually putting yourself further and further behind the 8 ball, more and more debt. Most people should know that it takes 30 years to pay off a house, 15 to 30 years to pay off the house. Most people have the 30 years. After you got out of college with the master's degree and all that to be able to afford your house, we're talking about you about 30 years old. Add another 30, you telling me you won't be able to own your house until you're 30, till you're 60 years old? See, you're already behind the 8 ball. But when I tell you and put the information about the Shelby County Land Bank, when I put the information on to tell you about certain things, you don't want to take it, then you get defensive, or you want to get in your feelings and your emotions because you want to say, he got this way of thinking and all. And it's not my way of thinking. My way of thinking is better and for my future, for my kids and all that. If we want to do better for our kids, I don't want my kids to struggle when I leave. I might die tomorrow. We have to plan. See, we don't never prepare our kids for when we not here. Think about it. Did your parents really, really prepare you mentally for when they're not here? 401k is gone. Social Security is going to be gone. And then these are government assisted programs. And then we want to talk about oppressors. They are the ones that are oppressing you. Yes, there has to be a form of government, but you can be your own government. Government only means control. People don't want to listen, but control the mind. That's what they're doing. They're controlling your mind. The Democratic, Republican, Liberal, Conservative, all of them are controlling the way you think. It's a part of the institution. See, we forget, and like I said, I don't want to go into the amendments and all that again because people have a different way of thinking about this. But basically, the amendments only made you took away you from the slave master, but made you slave to the state. That's why all your education, as far as your school systems and all that, are ran by the state. They have a curriculum that they have to go by, and it get passed down through all schools everywhere. So I'm not talking bad about the education because you need education also, but at the same time, it's an institution. It's actually training you to become a great employer or employee for your employer. That's what it's basically training for you to do. I'm not saying you don't have to work or you don't, but you understand and be aware of what you're doing. Try to save and get the money to build your economic system, to build your business, which is your family, because business is family and family is business. So you got to build that. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, or you don't grasp the concept of what I'm saying, then you have to do your own research, and that's up to you. But if I give the information, you can't not argue with me if you never looked it up yourself. That's just like me trying to tell somebody that have all this study in something that it's something that they study, and I have never looked at it before, and I want to debate them. You can't do that unless you go and read and research yourself. Then you can come and talk about what's the debate or whatever you want to do. But what I'm saying, the school system actually takes you from your God-given talents, your craft. You have to actually find. This is how the rich become rich or wealthy. They never actually thought about school system as far as that's the way of living. They took it as a stepping stone, a learning tool. And then they used that and added it with their talents, their skills. They found out what they was good at and used it. We have to learn to do that. So I'm kind of all over the place But at the same time, I'm just saying that if you want to be from under the oppressed, you have to find a way to work within their system. They will let you work within their system. I don't want the power. I don't want the power. I'm talking about me, myself now. I don't want the power. But I would love to have their wealth. Because their wealth, they're not stopping you from being wealthy. We want to talk about all the greats that have been pulled down. They're not stopping you from being wealthy. Your oppressors are not stopping you from being wealthy. You can go actually own all the land you want. You can actually go buy all the stock you want. You can do anything you want in this world. But for some reason, our old mentality got us thinking that they're not going to let you do that. They're not going to let you do that. That's a lie. These people will give you the information. It's what you do with the information. Like I say, I'm running all over the place, but at the same time, it's out here. You can become wealthy. You can become wealthy. I'm doing it for my seeds. Everybody know how I am about my family. Everybody know how I am about my kids. And my kids, when I leave this earth from the physical form on some spiritual stuff now, I plan, and I do not want to see my kids struggle. Well, not see, but because when I leave the physical, I do not want to know or have any idea or thought process that I have left them in a hole. I don't. I mean, the Bible does say, a lot of folks don't believe in the Bible and they look at it a different way, but it said a wise man leave inheritance to their kids' kids for generation. It does say that. It's not just talking about money. It's talking about wealth, knowledge, and stuff. And in my 5-year-old, if he knows this, it's another story when a grown man. But you know what? I can't blame this on just the grown people, because I have to also blame it on the future. I mean, on the past. Our ancestors, our forefathers, people that come before us, because technically, what did they leave you? Everybody want to say they left me you can say they left me $100,000, whatever. But what did they think? What did they leave up here in the head? Because you can have $1 million with no knowledge, you're gonna blow that. You just another dumb person. But if you have knowledge with it, just think about what you can do to overturn things. And now, like I said, I'm not talking about I don't want the power. My power is over my household. My dominion is my household. But each one teach one. And we're going to leave it like that, because when I try to tell people stuff, because I'm not hoarding information. I'm not going to just hold it for myself. I'm going to pass it along, because I want to see you do good. I want to see the next person do good. We can get together. I posted a picture on Facebook the other day, and it had Jay-Z and Kanye and all of them with their wives sitting down and all this stuff. It would look like, man, wealth. It just looked like wealth. That's how I want my people to be, man. I want to see my partner that's sitting next to me wealthy. That's what I want to see. I want to be able to drive up their house knowing, or going to sleep at night knowing that my partners are good. I got a couple of partners that we make good moves. I got a couple of other partners, we make great business decisions. We building this wealth. And I learned this from the British Empire. I learned this. I mean, they keep wealth within their bloodline. We got to learn from somewhere, man. These folks give you the game. You just don't take it. For some reason, we just don't take it, but we more worried about the NFL, the taking a knee and all that kind of stuff, which is good. Somebody standing up. I'm not saying something's wrong with that. Let me rephrase it. It's great. But how is that helping you and what you call your home with your seeds and all that? Because as of today, this man took a knee 2 months ago. You rarely hear anything else about it. See, we stopped. We quit doing things. We keep pushing. Put the foot on the neck. Keep pushing. We got to keep on doing it, man. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying it's anything bad. Let me rephrase it. There's nothing bad by taking a knee because it brings awareness. But you got to keep pushing. You got to keep pushing. I'm going to tell you how to do it. And when you get well, you wouldn't even think about that stuff. You wouldn't even think about he took a knee and all that kind of stuff. You really think, and it's really not racism. And I keep preaching it's really not racism. It's really classism. It's 1% controlling the majority of the people in the United States. We're talking about 1%, which is a couple of thousand people controlling 4.7, I think is the world population at 4.7 million. 4.7 million people. We're talking about a couple of thousand, maybe 100,000 controlling the entire world. What do you think they're doing? How can you can't say somebody don't have control of you if they control the way you think, what you do, what you eat, what you smell, when they control your five senses. You have to, man. I preach all the time about economics. I show you that I grow my own food, majority of my own food. I'm not going to say all of it, but majority of my own food. I tell you about land to accumulate. I told you about the Shelby County Land Bank. I tell you that you can get you a pond and pump your own water. The government not stopping you from doing that. So when you want to talk about the food being poisoned and you're not eating the right things and all that kind of stuff, well, you have the opportunity to change it. Get your own. Get your own. If you're not blessed to have the funds or whatever, you got to start somewhere. Do some sacrifices. Some sacrifices. I took a bunch of sacrifices. A bunch. I'm not saying I own all my resources neither. But the little bit that I do have, I took a bunch of sacrifice for it. I'm just saying, man, we got to wise up and be more smarter. It's time to quit complaining so much. A lot of people complain too much and then turn around and fight the people that's trying to give you the game. This is not checkers, this is chess. These folks playing chess with you. Have you ever thought about why the school, the church, colleges, the prison system, have you ever thought about why they all are called institutions? Have anybody ever looked up the word or did the study of word institution or institutionalized? Have anybody ever done that? You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised what institution means and why the school and where the state is in control of all institutions, meaning your school system, your prison. They say prisons are privately owned, but they do run state laws. They still are backed up by the state. Come on, man. We got to be a little smarter and play chess. I applaud LeBron James. He actually laid the blueprint out. He's laying the blueprint out, but who's going to follow it? Because we so caught up into his basketball, and I'm a basketball fan. Everybody knows I love basketball, but we getting caught up in the wrong thing. The man went to L.A. to brand himself. He opened up a school, and where else can you brand yourself besides L.A.? Come on, man. Let's think about it. Let's do our thing. Let's wise up and cut all this foolishness out, man. Don't get left behind. Don't get left behind because of the way you think. Because the way you think is the way that you're actually going to be. It controls everything you do. Your mind controls everything you do. And if your mind is polluted, you're polluted. You're toxic. Come on, I'm just giving the information. Don't fight me. Don't fight me. I got some good buddies that'll tell you that I don't just be talking. I run my mouth a lot. I'm an extrovert. I run my mouth a lot. But I'm also giving you facts. Not truth. It's a difference between truth and facts. Because the truth, your truth don't have to be my truth. My truth don't have to be your truth. But facts stand alone. Don't have to be backed up by anything. Get your own, man. Sacrifice some things. Not for you, for your generation, your future, your kids. Do your thing, man. I'm out.